Well, here we are at the end of a series of roads heading toward the southern approach to Potosi Mountain. And we are at the end of Rainbow Quarry Road. We got here by taking I-15 south from the Las Vegas Strip to Jean. And then we took 161, which is Good Springs Road, up toward Good Springs. Just before Good Springs, we took Good Springs Bypass Road. That changed to Rainbow Quarry Road. As you can see, the roads up to this point are very good. And we reach this place, which is either where you get a very rugged four-wheel drive vehicle, or you go on foot, which is what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be about 7 miles to the summit of Potosi Mountain. And this road, you can see the sign that says there's a gate ahead, and then a little bit more in the distance you can see the sign that says Potosi, and it points to the left. And if you look carefully on this ridge here straight ahead, you can see a road snaking up the ridge. I believe that Potosi Mountain Road goes up that ridge. Very steep incline for its beginning, and then once we get over the ridge, I'm hoping we can see Mount Potosi. But yeah, 7 miles to the summit of Mount Potosi. Definitely the road is a lot better than a lot of the wilderness wanderings that I've done, and a lot better than trails. But if you're in a vehicle, it's rated as one of the I think 50 worst roads either in Nevada or in the U.S. It's just a very horrible road for motor vehicles. So here we go. We're going to head up Potosi Mountain Road now, and let's do a quick 360. We must be in an area around 5,000 feet, 4 to 5,000, because I see the Joshua trees here. I don't have my altimeter with me, but Joshua trees are the indicator of around 4,000 feet to 5,000. Pine trees, and about 6,000 or 7,000, and then there's other pines at 9,000. That's how I gauge altitude in the mountains. Okay, here we go, up Potosi Mountain Road. Okay, I've been a little ways on Potosi Mountain Road so far, maybe, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile. And you'll see roads breaking off every now and then, but just stay on the main road and realize that you are following that route up the mountain. And we're closer than I thought, because just behind that bluff up there, pinnacle, whatever you want to call it, is Potosi Mountain, the southern summit of Potosi Mountain. So it's about 7 miles from where we started. Each way, 7 miles. One great thing about this is that, wow, it's going to be a great downhill run on the way back, because the road is decent so far. I would even say decent for motor vehicles. Saw a couple people at the bottom that had an ATV. They're going to take the ATV up here. But yeah, the view just keeps getting better as you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the road here that'll take us up to up that ridge and then around the back side of the ridge, and we'll continue on to Potosi Mountain. Definitely a healthy incline all the way. This road doesn't fool around. So here we go. Continuing on up, this road really doesn't fool around. We're looking 500 towards 1,000 feet per mile in some cases as far as the elevation gain. Very windy today. Now we're at Highway 509. Soon we'll hit a gate and I'll photograph that point. But we're entering the Spring Mountains National Recreation Area, and Potosi Mountain is at the southern tip, southwestern tip of the Spring Mountains. And there's a bluff that if you were standing on that bluff, you'd be looking not too much upward. You'd be looking across to the southern peak of Potosi Mountain. There are two peaks, a southern peak and a northern peak, and we're going to see both of them and then give you a 360 here. Looking back down into the valley, I-15 passes through that valley from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. And here you go. There's our 360. Okay, continuing on upward. Here we go. The maintenance road is gated, as you can see, and the gate is locked. So what do you do if you drove up and then they closed the gate? Well, there is a bypass, which is right here. It's a bit rugged, but yeah, you can bypass the gate, take this little bypass road, and it reconnects down a little further. So the gate is about 2 miles from where we left the beast today at the warning rocks. So anyway, yeah, give you an idea what to expect here. Okay, we are now about 4 miles from the summit, and this road, boy, this is one steep road. There's a section that I just passed that I'll call the ladder, and you can look down and see the valley through which I-15 passes. Below us, there is a mountain over this way, just to the left of that peak in the foreground, right in the center. And this is the mountain in the background. I don't know what that is. One of these days we're going to have to figure out what that is. We'll get there. And then this whole ridge system in the background. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I came up here, is to get this perspective, which I have not had before, and be able to look at different points, reference points, and points that I might want to climb in the future. Well, this road, as you can see, it's not too bad. They call it one of the worst roads in Nevada or in the U.S. Made that list, but so far, I think that that as far as the surface, that you could do this so far in a two-wheel drive vehicle. However, the incline is such that you might have trouble getting up some of these inclines because they are steep. But the surface is not too bad. It's a combination of You can see up ahead, it's asphalt. And then there are sections like what we have right here that are gravel, unpaved. But so far, I got to say, it's not too horrible surface-wise. But boy, the incline. I'm not running this. And I could bring my mountain bike here, but I wouldn't recommend it because on the way up, you're not going to be able to take these inclines on the bike. You'd be pushing your bike up. And then when you hit the top and turned around, this would be truly frightening. You would burn out your brakes. If you lost your brakes, you might as well say your last prayer, because there's just no way that you're going to come to a stop in a gentle way, at least, on the way down here if you lose control. And maybe the same for running. We'll talk about running strategy on the way down, and I'll show my approach. On the way up, small steps. Raise your leg that's the advancing stride. Raise that up, and then just kind of fall into the next step, and then rather than don't push with the other leg that's behind, because what that does is it just creates. It uses so much energy. So you can actually conserve a whole lot of energy by just focusing on form as you're rising up a steep incline like this. And actually this incline isn't as steep as the one I just came up. Anyway, continuing on. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to reach the ridge up here, circle around behind the ridge, and there's a south summit and a north summit, and we're going to just scope that whole area out and see what we can see. So let's continue on up. Maybe a little hard to hear. The wind is really picking up here, but you can see, looking downward, wow, just within the space of 2 miles or so, I've risen up this high. You can see the road below. There's the town of Good Springs, little green spot down in the valley, and then here's the higher view. And what are these mountains over here? We gotta find out at some point what we're looking at. I'll check out on a map, and maybe if I can nail it, I will name it in the video. So there we have the view of the valley below, and you can see this is a relentless ascent. Look at this. My gosh, this is why it's labeled as one of the worst roads. It's the incline. This is paved, so that the surface isn't a problem. But the incline, oh my gosh. Okay. And I kind of doubt that you would be even in an ATV. I kind of doubt that you'd be going a whole lot faster than I'm going right now. Just due to this relentless incline. And oh my gosh, I would not want to be on anything that had wheels on the way down this road, because you're taking your life in your hands. But it makes an awesome trail. Okay, let's continue on up. Okay, I keep asking myself, where's the plateau? This road continues to rise up with a huge ascent. Beautiful area though. Look at the mountains around, and we're starting to see pine trees below us and above us. So we got to be at least at 6,000 feet, 7,000 feet at this point. yeah, look at this road. Let's just trace it as much as we can. Just a minute. Let me move my sunglasses so I can see here. Fortunately, this is an area that's sort of protected by the wind, but look as we trace our way down. And let's turn around this way. There you go. Then we pick up the road again, and we're continuing to trace our way down this road. Oh my gosh, look at that. I've decided that on my last day on Earth, maybe I'm 95 years old, I'll come up here, have a mountain bike, and I'll head down and I'll say, Lord, I'm coming home. Because, wow, this is just it's incredible. Ascent, descent angle here. But look at the scenery around us. Very rugged and beautiful. Yeah, I love it up here. And look at the formations, how the rocks are formed. There you see the pine trees all around us. And then other roads in the valley down here. Who knows where they go? We'll find out one of these days as we continue to scope out the area. Yeah, and you can see, not right now, but you can see birds soaring way down below you. So that lets you know that you've done a lot of ascent. So beautiful, beautiful road. It could be a little more clear, but there's so much wind that I think the wind is kicking up a lot of desert dust. We'll come back here on a clearer day. Imagine the views. Okay, let's continue. On up this delightful little incline. Okay, actually, they're not pines, they're junipers. And junipers around 6,000, pines around 7,000. And then bristlecone pines, 9,000. So that's my altimeter. Okay, so yeah, the road continues, and yeah, it continues to rise rather dramatically. There was a little brief respite just below here where I actually could run for about 100 feet before it once again began to dramatically rise around me. So anyway, yeah, here you have it. Continuing on up. Nice rock formations. Starting to get more interesting as we rise up. Let's continue on. Continuing on up, and I believe the road circles around and tops the ridge over there. Will there be a respite from this altitude incline? Who knows? Very, very steep. And there's a song for every stretch of trail. If you've watched the original Wizard of Oz, the song for this stretch is "Oh Rio, Rio, oh Rio, Rio." So yeah, it's a bit of a death march heading up this stretch. But wow, every time you turn around, you're treated to more of an awesome aerial view. It is truly like you are ascending a ladder. Each step is probably giving you close to 1 foot altitude gain. So count the steps and you get an idea of the rate of ascent. Now, we are starting to get into pines, and so we got a mixture now of junipers and pines, which means I would estimate altitude wise, left my altimeter watch at home, I'd estimate that we're looking at something like 7,000 feet at least at this point. Yeah, here's a pine, here's a juniper, and let's just continue up. Oreo. Yay, it looks like I've reached the top of something here. A ridge. I'm sure we circle around to the right after topping this, and then maybe it'll be another uphill, maybe another 1,000 feet. I'm going to guess that we're at around 7,000. And here you can see the 360-degree view. And yeah, look down there. We came all the way up from that area in just a few miles. There's the road down there. Yeah, this road goes straight up this ridge, up to this point. There you can see good springs down in this area of the valley, and it's the green spot. I can't see it with all the glare on the phone screen, but you'd probably be able to see it in the video a lot better. And here you see junipers. There are also pines here. Very beautiful up here. It's getting very interesting. So I would say by the time you reach this point, you've at least done 2/3 of your adventure. And it's quite an achievement just to get up to this ridge. But I'm sure there's more to come. So, in fact, let's go ahead and let's head up and just see what we can see at the top of this ridge. Now, the wind may kick up because this ridge has been shielding us from the wind. So, not be able to hear anything that I say probably once I hit the top of this. But I'll try, as I always do. Yes, and up here, the south summit, and then we go over to the north summit from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to ascend to the south summit and see if we can take the ridge from the south summit to the north summit. Who knows? Maybe the north summit is over here. We don't know, but we're sure going to find out. And then, as long as we're up here, let's just look around, see what we can see. For one thing, yeah, level's off a little bit, and there is actually a little downhill, which is very welcome at this point. But then it's going to be back up to the south summit. But yeah, here we're looking off in the distance And I don't know, but I'm guessing that just maybe we're looking at Griffith Peak and Mount Charleston on the other end of the Spring Mountains. We'll know more when we get to the summit here. So, continuing on up to the summit of Potosi Mountain. Here we go. By the way, yeah, this is the downhill for on the way back. Wow, that is going to be a very interesting experience on my joints, all the way from my ankles to my neck. And I'll talk a little bit about ways that I deal with that on the way down. And then here's a little parking area. If you want to park your vehicle, which you do not dare point in this direction on the way down, this is where you would park it. Okay, and you can see the area around us, how beautiful this is. Just incredible. Okay, so let's take the last stretch of this route up to the south summit of Potosi Mountain, and we'll be at the towers up there, and then head on over to, is this the north summit? We don't know. But it'd be nice if it was, because then it's not that far. But who knows? We'll deal with whatever we find up there. Here we go. Okay, I don't know if you can hear anything, but I'll try to yell. Here is a fork in the road. The right fork takes you up to the south summit. The left fork takes you around and to the north summit. What I'm going to try to do is a circuit. I'm going to go up the right fork, hit the south summit, and then traverse over to the north summit, and then take this road back to this point. And it looks like it'll be more gradual, so I'll be able to run it a little easier. So, here we go. South summit, our next destination. As you can see, we're closing in on the south summit, which is right here. In fact, we've arrived. Here's the towers. And once we top this little hill here, we may be able to see the north summit. But while we're here, let's take a last look down at this section. There's the stretch we just ascended. It didn't look like so much from the bottom, but I tell you, it's got to be around 500 feet. Where were we? Right down in this area right here. This is where we first topped that initial ridge. And then we headed up this road, continued on up. So, and there we are looking down toward where we began, down at Good Springs. I have not been above about 4,000 feet since last summer. And I tell you, being up near 8,000, which is where we are now, you really feel it. time per week. And this is a 4,000 foot jump. In fact, last week I was at about 2,500. That's the height that I achieved. And so, yeah, you feel sluggish, not getting enough oxygen, your body doesn't know how to handle it, and slight headache. That's just what happens when you ascend beyond what you're used to by a large stretch of altitude. So, okay, well let's go through this little pass here and let's see where the North Summit is. Okay, I'm not seeing any direct ridge route from the South Summit to the North Summit. It looks like there's a pretty hefty avalanche slope here. I can see the road down there, and yeah, we could reach that road again. I don't know if I want to descend this rocky section. I may just go back down the South Trail and then circle around and then hit that road again and head up to the North Summit, which is over here. I found that time-wise, even though it's more distance on a road, it's actually as fast or even faster to go down and around than try to navigate this rocky area. I'll check over here to see if there's a more direct downhill, but if there's not, I'm going to head back down the South Road because I can run it and make better time than navigating all these rocks. So anyway, here's where I am on the South Summit looking toward the North Summit. And yes, I do believe that we are looking over at Mount Charleston, Griffith Peak, and Mummy Mountain, right in the center there. I should say Charleston Peak, more accurate. Okay, so we're going to find our way to the North Summit. I'll go around this edge to see if there's a more gradual downhill that I could, take a bypass and get back on this road. If not, then back the way I came. Okay. Yeah, this pretty much settles it. That's a pretty hefty downhill. A lot of slippery, slidey rocks. I'm going to go around and hit that road again. Like I said, it'd be easier on a run down that section I just came up. So, yeah, added a little extra to the experience here, but no problem. Maybe another mile I added. So we're going to find this road down here. There you can see it straight below. We'll circle around, get back out on the road, and then head on up to the northern summit, the true summit of Potosi Mountain. Here we go. I just had to do it. Ascend to the very top of the southern summit. And wow, what a view. There's the northern summit straight ahead. But now we get more of a 360-degree view of the area. Yeah, and there, down in the distance, is the Las Vegas Strip, right in the center. So a lot of viewpoints are opening up, real secure spot I'm on. So if suddenly you see blue sky, you'll know what happened. There you have it. Southern summit of Potosi Mountain, and there in the center is the Mount Charleston Wilderness, Charleston Peak on the left, Griffin Peak. I think it could be the one on the right, it could be Mummy. We don't know, but you'll be able to tell in the picture probably. Okay, I'm heading down and back to the main road and then over to the northern summit. So here we go. By the way, this last little section, you got to see this. A bit slippery, slidey. There is a stairway, but you can't get to the stairs. I'll show you. Oh, it's kind of fun up here to be able to see different perspective. Okay, so here's a great stairway, but there's a drop off at the bottom. There are these conduits, and I don't really trust them. And besides, I don't want to damage them. We'll have climbers banned from being on this in this area, so we'll stay away from that. So yeah, you can see that there's you can either go on the right or the left of the stairway. Looks like we'll be doing a little sliding on the way down, and then we get back down to the main area there and then circle around back down to the road. So there you have the whole picture. The reason I don't take these nice stairs is that they just end in a drop off before you get to the bottom. So you gotta slide down just to the left of the stairs. Okay, so here we go. Let's continue the adventure. A little better look at the strip. Las Vegas Strip down there. Roaring wind, increasing clouds. Okay, here we go. Back on the main road here, and there you can see the fork in the road where I headed up to the south summit, and now I'm back on the road. It actually didn't take long to get back to this point where and there you can see this is the area where I topped that first huge incline. Believe me, there has been no incline close to that since then. But anyway, that only took me about 10 minutes to get down from the south summit to here, and then I'm heading around the corner here, and soon we'll have views of the north summit from this perspective. So here we go. Sure enough, we rounded a corner, and here is the road to the north summit. And there is the north summit. So I would say, based on this, that yes, it only took me about 15 minutes to get to this point where I too have descended. Yeah, down the slope from the south summit. We'll get a better shot of it later. That would have taken me about 15 minutes also, the way I navigate stuff like this. So, yeah, good choice, especially for a trail runner. Love surfaces like this. That's what we want. So now it's run over to the north summit from here. And there, of course, is the Mount Charleston Wilderness, right down in that area. And I think you can see Griffith Peak and Mount Charleston from here. But we'll get a much better view when we hit this north summit. So here we go. Okay, yeah, it's always good to see what it would have been like had I headed down from the south summit. And it looks like this is a little scramble route right here. And I guess I could have done it, maybe would have saved 5-10 minutes tops. I'd rather do the way I did. I wasn't sure where the exact best route was, but it looks like this is it right here. So that's doable. Okay, let's continue on to the north summit. Here we go. Another route down from the south summit, and this looks like it's even easier. So that would have saved me about 10-15 minutes had I come down. It just didn't look like it was gonna go all the way, and there's only one rough spot, which was right where I was standing up there at the south summit. So yeah, I actually could have taken this down and then hit this road again, the main road, and then headed along back along the main road over to the north summit. So yeah, that would have been that would have saved me a little time, but not much. Okay, so here we are looking back down in the valley where we ascended from. Seems like we're in an airplane now. It is so high. It's about 1,000 feet higher than Gas Peak right now. So wow, what a view. Too bad it's a little hazy. We'll get a better view when we hit the true summit in just a little bit. Okay. Another short detour to what we'll call the mid-summit. So there are actually 3 summits. I wonder if I have cell phone coverage here. Anyway, there we're looking down toward Las Vegas, and the strip is straight down in this area. Very hazy, but maybe you can make it out. And then that road there below us looks like a really nice road. I bet that is the main road over to Pahrump, the upper area of Blue Diamond Road. And it turns into highway something like 167, I'm not sure. And then here we are looking at the north summit. Lots and lots of wind here. So now we're going to head over to the north summit and got to descend again to the road. You can see the main road down there. So we've taken a couple detours here so far, but well worth it. You got to hit every summit. You just have to. That's the rules. Okay, and you can hear the wind just roaring through these towers. Wow. You got to construct those things very well in order to put up with wind that just continues. It does not quit. And this is not the windiest day. Okay, let's head down to the road and over to the north summit. Here we go. We're closing in on the north summit. Just ahead, we've had another dip from the mid-summit to the north summit, so down and up, and now it's getting really steep, this last section. But we're continuing on, and we'll soon be there. It's a 360-degree view here. Yeah, very, very hazy. The wind is just roaring. I'm in kind of a quiet spot. There's the south summit. And then, let's see. Yeah, that's close to the mid-summit. Mid-summit is just a little closer to us than that. It's hidden by the trees here. And yeah, we are definitely into mostly pine, a few junipers, and definitely beyond 8,000 feet, even at this point. So let's continue on up. We're almost there. We are the final approach to the north summit, which is that high tower straight up ahead. And we're going to ascend, hugging the left side of these conduits, not stepping on the conduits because they're not designed to handle the weight of a person. So here we go, the last section, and then just a quick 360, but we'll get a better one from the summit. And here we are looking down on the south summit. We stood there just not too long ago. And I predict that, yeah, let's see, I think I started out about 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, about 6.5 hours coming up. Boy, I don't think that the makers of these roads knew the term switchback. They just sent them straight up. And so it's more of an endurance feat to get up to this point. But most of that is over. Let's just ascend to the very summit and take a 360 and then head back. Here we go. Here we are on the north summit, Potosi Mountain. And let's take a 360-degree view here. There you see toward Henderson. And then Las Vegas Strip straight down in this area. Maybe you can faintly see it today. Wait a minute, there we go. It should be in the center. I definitely cannot see it with the glare on the phone screen, but I'm hoping that we're looking right in the center, and that's the Las Vegas Strip. Then let's continue to pan around. Here we've got the Rainbow Mountains. Keep getting gusts of wind. There's the Rainbow Mountains. And Red Rock Park area. And then behind it, La Madre Mountain. And the La Madre Mountains wilderness. And then panning around in this direction. Here's a good shot of the Mount Charleston wilderness. Charleston Peak on the left. In the middle, I'm not sure, that could be Griffith Peak. Mummy Mountain's in there too, but sorry, I can't nail them right now. I may be able to identify them once I get a map out, but I do know Charleston Peak is the one on the left. And then continuing around, wow. I'm thinking Pahrump is down in that area, which would mean Death Valley is behind. And we've got Telescope Peak, but it's just too hazy to pick anything out. If it were clear, you'd be able to see those destinations. So there you have it. Potosi Mountain Summit. And let's just slide around on these rocks. And there is the South Summit. And so we need to head back down that way. And like I said, 6.5 hours up. I'm thinking 2.5 hours down. But when we're looking at such a steep incline, it's hard to get a whole lot of speed. And then down in this direction, you can see the main road between Las Vegas and Pahrump. I think it's 167, not totally sure. There's another view of it. I don't even know if you can hear anything I'm saying. It's so windy. Anyway, time to head down. But what an adventure today. I am not seeing anything that looks like a gradual approach ridge at this point, unless it is this ridge ahead. If we are coming up from the west side. Maybe a little further off in this direction there would be a ridge. I don't know. So this did not help us to scope out a western approach from here. Maybe if I continued on to that next summit, but I'm camped out. Going to turn around and head back down. Cool up here. Love the color of these rocks. Believe it's limestone. That roaring that you hear that sounds like a jet engine, that's the wind roaring through the cell phone towers. I don't want to hang around here too long. There was a sign that said the radio waves up here exceed FCC limits, so we want to head back down soon. Good shot of Red Rock Park down there. Okay, let's head down. As I said, radio frequency warning. And we've just ascended and descended along this path here along the conduits. Careful not to touch them. Who knows what voltage is inside those conduits. And then, looking off in this direction, great view of the mid-summit and the south summit. There's the mid-summit. And there's the south summit. So we're heading down now. Let the races begin. We'll see if we indeed can make it back in 2.5 hours, where it took us 6.5 hours coming up. We'll find out. Way down, making good time, but just thought I'd stop here. Another good shot of the strip. There you have it. And of course, I've got the shock absorber knee pads on as we head down this frighteningly steep decline back to our starting point. So, small steps. That's about all I can say. Small steps, shock absorbers, good trail shoes. I've got, these are Nike wind something. Not sure. But anyway, I've got some Dr. Scholl's blue gel pads that absorb shock in each shoe, and then a heel pad in addition. I only wear those when I'm running because you don't want to elevate your heel too much normally, but in an area like this, definitely you want to have some good shock absorption on the heels. So, and then just take your time going down. Nice, easy run. Try to stick to about 180 steps per minute. You can Google 180 steps per minute and see all sorts of suggestions on that. It seems to be a good way to avoid a lot of shock on your joints, especially on a downhill. And you can go to LasVegasAreaTrails.com, and in the trail tips you can see an entire video I did with all my something like 20-30 running tips that I've learned over time. So, okay, let's continue on down. On the way down the ladder now. It took me about an hour to get here from above, and so I'm on track for 2.5 hours to the end of this. So we will see. It is extremely steep, so that's going to make a difference in how fast I can descend. I don't want to descend too fast because then I will jar every joint in my body from my ankles to my neck. But if I keep small steps, that'll even things out. And one other thing, if you're not used to, this will be a 14-mile round trip for me. And the most I've done recently is about 5 miles, mostly 3 miles. And I'm getting over plantar fasciitis, and that really knocked me out for the whole winter. Since late last August. And so I've been riding a mountain bike and then just hiking as much as I can. And so I'm not in very good shape. But what I'm trying to say here is that if you do something much more extreme than you've worked up to and you're used to, you are going to risk having cramps, leg cramps in the evening. And what happens is, as soon as you rest, you lie down for a while and then you move. Wow! Feels like you're going to die. Anyway, there are some things that I do to avoid that. One thing is take potassium pills. Potassium helps. Other people use magnesium. And magnesium can also help you. So when I get back, I'll take a magnesium and a couple potassiums. Now, another thing, do not have any sugar until the next day. Because I have found through experience that sugar, you have a dessert, feels good after a long exertion, and the only problem is that for some reason sugar will really trigger those cramps. So no sugar the day of your exertion, not until the next day, if you are doing something that exceeds what you're used to. In fact, anytime I do a long experience, a long adventure, I have no sugar that day. So those are 2 tips to avoid cramps: potassium, magnesium, and no sugar. Okay, down we go. And we'll see how we do. When I get down to the gate, I will pause for a moment. We'll take a look at the gate, which I didn't catch on the way up. And I will say what I learned about this type of steep decline. I have seldom done something like this. I used to run hood to coast, and whoever got the first leg starting down from Timberline Lodge on Mount Hood, the next couple weeks, your quads were just shot. And so I'm going to try everything that I know and see if I can avoid that happening, because this is such a steep and long decline. So we'll see. Okay, onward. And at the gate, the road begins to, the incline levels a bit, and you can see heading down. You can almost see where the beast is parked down. I don't know if that is the exact spot, but down in this area, if you see a car, that is the beast. So up to the point of the gate, you've got a healthy incline. Past the gate, you've got an insane incline. And then, of course, it heads up to the upper ridge up there. Okay. Let's go ahead and run it in. But one thing that I wanted to say as far as my learnings of descending a very steep incline is, as I mentioned, a lot of small steps. If you could picture rolling a cube, every time you pushed that cube, it would bang down on the ground. If, on the other hand, you added 4 more sides. Now you've got an 8-sided figure, and when you push it, there's less jarring every time that object lands. Now, if you have an infinite number of sides, you've got a wheel, and there's no jarring at all. So picture your strides in that same way. You want to be more like the wheel than like the cube, which means many more strides per minute. Up to 180 is the ideal. And when you're descending a steep slope, like what we have, heading up to that ridge up there, yeah, you want to be the wheel. You want to be lots of very small steps and just roll from your heel to your toe or your toe to your heel, and just kind of be a wheel all the way down, and you will live to run another day as opposed to just saying, whoa, I can go really fast on this road because there's such a downhill. I did that on the first leg of the Hood to Coast, going down from Timberline Lodge one year, and wow, you can really go fast. I was running 4-minute and 30-second miles for 5 miles. Well, you do that, yeah, it feels really good. You feel like an Olympian, but it's a one-way trip. You are burned out by the time you hit the bottom, and your quads are just shredded. So, yeah, don't let out all the stops heading down a hill, especially if you've got a steep incline. Just take it easy. The whole purpose is not to break any land speed records, which will totally shred your legs, your calves, your quads, everything. The goal is to make it to the bottom and still be able to function, not only that evening, but the next day and onward. So that's my philosophy. Okay, onward. We are back at the Beast, and now I can point out at least where the south summit is. So if you look up on this hill and you look closely, you can see some towers. That is the south summit, Potosi Mountain. Okay, that pretty much ends our journey adventure for today. What an awesome experience. Whoops, sorry about that. So Potosi Mountain is very much the southern approach, is basically an endurance test. So if you're preparing for a marathon or an ultra marathon, yeah, this would be a great Okay, that does it for today. We'll try that western approach sometime.